What's up, everybody? It's 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Back with you for an review. This time I'm doing my Raw review for March 3rd, 2014. This is the second week of the WWE app being launched. And we will start off with the Raw pre-show. The panel this evening were Alex Riley, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Booker T, and Josh Matthews. Basically, for the pre and post show, I only wrote down kind of the important stuff because it's mostly them talking. They had a Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella interview segment. Then mainly Bryan talked. Well, Bryan only talked, but Brie was with him. And then a Shield Wyatt video package, which was amazing. A New Age Outlaws interview segment. Then a Los Matadores, who just came off of a victory over Ryback on Superstars, getting interviewed by King. Then you had a Paul interview segment when they were trying to talk to Brock Lesnar. Then we come up to Raw. Punk's music hits, and it's Paul Heyman. Yes, Paul Heyman comes out as a little in-ring segment talking about CM Punk. Then he brings out Lesnar, and they have a little thing. Then they're going to the back. You hear Mark Henry's music hits. He comes out. Brock Lesnar runs back, runs up the steps, gets elbowed by Lesnar, but then seconds, like a minute later, Mark Henry ends up through the announce table with an F5. Then you have the first match of this evening, the New Age Outlaws versus the Usos for the WWE Tag Team titles. And what was an alright match, wasn't bad, but it was actually really good, but it wasn't the best match I'd ever seen. With the Usos picking up the victory, gaining their first tag team championships. Awesome match. Awesome match. Then you have Aaron Paul, the guest star of Raw. He has a little promotional package. Pops up that he's going to be there, and they have a Divas React segment. Then, cut to the WWE app. You have Byron Saxton talking about a lot of stuff, and the Usos wander that way, and he gets their reactions for winning the WWE Tag Team titles. Then you have a Big E Langston versus an Antonio Cesaro with Coulter and Swagger. The winner of that match was Big E by disqualification because Swagger comes in and attacks Big E. Then you had a Christian interview segment on the WWE app. A Christian interview talking about his match basically tonight. And you had the Wyatts versus the Shield in what was an awesome match. Man, I want to tell you guys right now something that I got, but I can't because I'm waiting for my dad to bring me back one thing. So expect a wrestling haul, I guess, or wrestling shit update sometime soon, I hope. Anyway, the Wyatts picking up the victory after Seth Rollins said, "Oh, why you win?" Walked out on the Shield, but it looked like they were gonna win. I was hoping they would win because that would have been so cool. But the Wyatts ended up winning. And then you have Batista interview him backstage talking about how the Yes movie is the dumbest thing that he has ever seen. Then you had Santino Marella and Emma from NXT, who put on an excellent show last Thursday on NXT Arrival against Paige. Oh my god, I've never been a fan of their developmental system. I've seen a few old FCWs. I even watched an episode when I was in Florida a couple of summers ago when it was still FCW, Florida Championship Wrestling. Now it's NXT. They're doing a lot of good things over at NXT. I gotta say, freaking Adrian Neville, the new NXT champion, awesome, awesome, awesome. And I'm probably actually going to start reviewing NXT right here on this channel to replace my WrestleManias, to replace my Mania uh, thing, because there's no way in hell, especially with WWE Network being up now. I got a stack of probably close to 100 wrestling DVDs that I'll probably never watch because of WWE Network. I've already watched freaking 2 ECW pay-per-views, and I became a fan of ECW after, like, extremely after. Like, right around, right after the time I met, Simon Dean. Well, God, I've talked with him a little bit, but I met him, what did I say that? And then, yeah, I was part of the BWO and ECW and WWE, and then I kind of became a fan of old ECW. Now I'm watching them, like, oh my god, that was so good television for back then. Anyway, talking about Emma and Santino, they got scrambled off and stuff. Emma and Santino interview segment talking about their match and their kind of relationship, blah blah blah. Those two characters would make a good on-screen couple, let's say that. Then come back, you have Fandango and Summer Rae already in the ring doing their little dance, and then you have Emma's music hits. Everybody's doing the dance, including me. Come on, you know it. Emma and you have Summer Rae and Fandango versus Santino and Emma. The winner of that match, which I don't have written down, but it was Santino and Emma picking up the victory. Congratulations. Then you have Sheamus and Christian, which was an awesome match. They're probably going to have this match at Mania. And what was a good match with Sheamus hitting a bro kick from the apron to Christian, who's going out after him, picking up the victory. Awesome match. Then you had a Christian interview. We went to break. Sheamus is there. I believe this is actually on the WWE. I can't remember if this was on the app or not. I tried writing everything that happens on the app. WWE. Yeah. But Sheamus is being interviewed, and Christian comes up and attacks him, building more into this feud. Then you had the Bellas, who both these teams entered on the WWE app. You had the Bellas versus Alicia Fox and Oksana. I can't wait till Naomi to get back. She's actually got married, but when she was gone, yeah. And what was a good match for Divas. You have the Bellas picking up the victory. Then you had a Brad Maddox segment interview back on the WWE app, in which he is debating what he should do for Swagger, because, as I stated earlier in the video, Swagger attacks Big E for the second week in a row, costing Antonio Cesaro the match. He's like, you know what? I'm going to make Big E versus Jack Swagger tonight. Then you have a Daniel Bryan in-ring segment in which he's just talking a bunch of crap about the Authority. The Authority comes out. They have a nice little back and forth. End of that. Then you have ADR, Alberto Del Rio, versus Dolph Ziggler with Aaron Paul at ringside. Jesse Pinkman, baby, from Breaking Bad. I'm not even that huge, like a huge Breaking Bad fan. I'll watch maybe the first 3 episodes on Netflix. I need to watch it. It's a really good show. I watched all but this current season of Walking Dead. Man, that's a good show. Both those shows are really good. Anyway, he has him at ringside, and what was an alright match, mainly to get Jesse Pinkman out there and over and whatnot. Dolph Ziggler picking up the victory. Then we find out our next inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame, but it's right after the break. So when we come back from break, They run the video package, and at first it seems like they were doing The Undertaker. But it's Undertaker's longtime manager, longtime friend, and the only man The Undertaker would ever actually, the only, pretty much the only man Undertaker ever ribbed just himself, and ribs is kind of like a practical joke in the wrestling term. Mr. Paul Bearer. I'll look for the link. I'll actually look for the video, but if there's not a link in the description of this video, go look up the Jim Cornette Paul Bearer ROH shoot interview. It's the funnest thing you can have. They mostly make fun of WWE basically production director, the guy that runs all WWE programming from floor to ceiling, fucking Kevin Dunn. They make fun of him. Man, that's hilarious. Anyway, go watch that shoot. Our Rip Paul Bearer, Percy Pringle III. Man, I this manager, so iconic, so legendary. You deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Who's going to induct him? Who's going to induct him? Because Taker might do it, but he'd be breaking that dead man gimmick. I heard once that Taker doesn't even want to be in the Hall of Fame because then that would ruin the gimmick. Anyway, then after that you come to Biggie Langston versus Jack Swagger, which was short work as Antonio Cesaro comes in and gives Biggie the neutralizer. And then they have a back and forth again, and then they have back and forth thing between the real Americans. They have to hug it out, of course, the old hug it out. And by the way, you got to remember, hashtag we the people. Then after that, Zena comes out, talked about the Shield, talked about his injury, even though I believe it's a storyline injury. Flipping my notes. And then the Wyatts show up on the screen, talk about Zena. Awesome segment right there. Then you had Lana come out, which was awesome. And she does some stuff. She says some stuff in Bulgarian, which I think is really awesome that they're actually keeping with this. And then some stuff with English. And then Alexander Rusev, the Bulgarian brute, the man who I personally saw and in the dark match of SmackDown like a couple of weeks, like almost a month ago now, probably over a month ago. Holy crap! When I went to SmackDown, which I have a bunch of pictures. Well, actually, mainly I have videos, which I need to finish up all my Raw videos first, because I still have a few I haven't uploaded. Anyway, he comes out, cuts this promo with Bulgarian. Awesome! I can't wait for this guy to actually debut on Raw or SmackDown. I hope it's SmackDown, but knowing WWE is going to be Raw, because when they had Los Matadores or Primo and Carlito debut on Raw, they basically went from big stars to mid card. Now they're stuck in that mid card jobber position to anybody. Then you had Daniel Bryan versus Batista in the main event, which was a very good match with Randy Orton at ringside. The winner of that match was Daniel Bryan via disqualification because in the course of that match, actually right near the end, they fought to the outside. Batista grabs Bryan, flings him into Orton, and then Orton attacks Orton attacks Bryan, and then RKO's Batista. Then the Authority come out and just beat the crap out of Bryan, with Triple H ending it with with Batista bombing him, and then Triple H giving him the pedigree. That's how Raw ended. And then we cut into Raw backstage pass. Besides for the panel being there, of course, it's Josh Matthews, Booker T, Hacksaw, and Alex Riley. That you see Kane, Batista, and Orton just beat the holy hell out of Bryan again. Then Big Show and John Cena come down for the save, and then they celebrate for the rest of the time. Then you have Stephanie McMahon has an interview backstage with Renee Young, basically to the point to where it's basically like was Triple H and Bryan was Triple H pedigreeing buying an answer to his challenge, and Stephanie's like, no. Then Triple H kind of walks up and he's like, well, here I have Triple H. No, you don't. And Triple H walks off. Then you have Titus O'Neil and Curtis Axel reacting to Raw, two heels this time. I believe they had two faces last week. Then you have an Aaron Paul interview to end Raw. Anyway, guys, yes, this is my first video in like, I think a month almost. I know I was going to do weekly videos. Actually, this is my first video in like a couple weeks. Not a month. But it feels like a month because it's YouTube and I watch YouTube every day and it's like, I haven't made a video in a while. Holy crap. Anyway, guys, remember, uh, follow me on Twitter. I'm thinking about actually just making anybody can follow me on Twitter, but I need to make, but I'm gonna think, I'm gonna, I don't think I'm gonna do that. Follow me on Instagram. I believe my Instagram link is on there. Tumblr, freaking my gamer tag for PSN. Come on, play me in some 2K14. Come on. Come on. As long as you're not a fucking cheater, I'm down for it. Anyway, guys, remember, comment, like, and subscribe. I'm XCW1234. I'm a wrestling fan, not a fucking universe. Peace out.